by like a minute, it felt like. Pigeon love.
I want to see a DC comic timeline where he turns into the pigeon.
Because he loves
like
pigeons.
That's his new surprises, right? Yeah. But this sinister...
If we had just allowed the elves to unionize, this never would have happened.
Walk in, but they're not going to be thinking you're about to rob this place, right? Except he did it in the dumbest way possible.
Keep us safe and to keep Santas from terrorizing the community.
I know myself.
Other than just releasing the bees, for accounts of assault and battery by means of a dangerous weapon.
Bees, run! Your firearms are useless! What are you going to do?
Going goblin mode on
that
this
he was doing something wrong, it was just the fervor with which he was doing it.
Stop it.
Oh boy.
That was good.
The magic
it's
of
so much better with 5
Beautiful.
people trying to get their connections
to sync up.
Hey, at least you weren't last this time.
He probably was.
I was early by like a minute, it felt like.
Because you lagged for like a minute. Robert's dying. He's killing me. It's like 1 frame per second.
Beautiful. Just stay really still.
Oh yeah, perfect. It looks like statuesque.
All right, well, welcome to the season finale of Bros of Murder.
Finale?
Oh, hello.
I know, you had no idea.
I barely knew the assignment.
Yeah, no, we're like that every week. The Sunday group chat, like, so what are we doing again?
Yeah, no, it was like 1 in the morning,
free?
and I was like listening to some of your previous podcasts and like searching up stuff like, oh, I gotta find a good one. And then I met with Robert earlier. He's like, oh no, dumb crimes. Oh, damn it.
Robert didn't give you any type of...
To be fair, he did.
No, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, now you know, this episode is all about dumb crimes. We haven't done it at all this season. This season's been pretty, serious for the most part. So I figured we should, end on a softer note and cleanse the palate. And we're joined by a wonderful band and friend of the show, FreddyVs.
Hey, hey.
Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Hey. Howdy. I'm Robbie. I play the drums in the band, and I'm excited to get dumb with you.
TJ, I play bass in FreddyVs, and I am also excited to read my really dumb, but somehow it worked out crime.
Oh, wait, yeah, okay, question. Out of all of you, how many people had crimes where the perpetrator got away?
I did.
Oh, no, mine did. His ass going to jail.
Damn.
Which, honestly, I didn't think he would, because I'll start off, because I felt like, alright, it's kind of not harmless. Okay,
Wait, Andre, who are we? What is this? What's
shit, Bros of Murder. We are a true crime podcast that covers true crime cases, color, and dumb crimes, and plays you music from artists you probably never heard of, because I have immaculate taste, and that can't be argued.
We do that shit so much, people are going to think it's scripted.
It is really not.
We forget to introduce the show.
I'm just an asshole. This is really it.
Actually, all this is over. I have to ask you, one of the podcasts you opened with a song, and I need to ask you what it was.
What, like the opening for every episode?
No. Or maybe it was closing. You play them at the end of the podcast, is that right? Or is it the early?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, try to remind me. I gotta find that and ask you.
I got you. You let me know if this guy should have went to jail or not. I think he should have got probation, but whatever. A man is sitting in prison now for dumping a bunch of body parts across Arizona. In total, 53 different body parts. Now, Walter Harold Mitchell, what is called a Mitch, promised several families that upon the donation of their loved one bodies, that the bodies will be used for medical researches, just normal body donation things, and also treated with dignity and respect. And upon their use, they'll be cremated. He was trying to do something. Oh no, he was doing a publicity stunt for a point, but it backfired horribly. So now, Walter's a 61-year-old man who operated a Seattle-based cadaver business called Futuregenics. Cadavers and body parts are so... Yeah, that was a dumb name.
I was thinking it's very close to eugenics, yeah.
He is a blonde man, so... Yeah. And then diving into this, I've learned that the cadaver business is highly unregulated, and abuse apparently is very commonplace and goes unreported because no one is really looking into what's happening with these bodies after they're sold. One woman who donates to a program at the Minnesota Medical School said that it's essentially human trafficking but dead bodies. That's really what it is. People are just shilling bodies back and forth for thousands of dollars. Now, on December 26, 2020, 2 woodcutters discovered a human arm and a leg, and then when officers got there, they found nearly 24 other body parts at that initial scene. The next day, several more heads were recovered after 2 hunters discovered a head in the woods doing what hunters do. I'm assuming beating up for gay sex.
Yeah. Hey, you can wear many hats. Yeah, exactly. The village people? It was just a collection of fun hats you can wear while meeting up for anonymous sex.
And
No, that's cowboys.
Brokeback Mountain.
Love the YMCA.
I mean, they're both wearing hats.
Correct.
Literally, effectively. Oh, yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay.
So when someone says they're a man of many hats, now I know what they mean.
That's right.
Yeah, that means they have a scruff account. So now, on the heads and different body parts, there were medical research tags and serial numbers, all of these leading directly back to Mitchell and his company, Futurgenics. I don't know why, if you're going to dump a bunch of bodies, why would you just take the tags off
Well,
of
clearly,
the individual
this was
pieces?
an incredibly well thought out plan.
With your company's name and address on it. So now, after local authorities reported the findings of 24 total human limbs, including 5 heads, to the Prescott precinct, Mitchell was immediately arrested in his Scottsdale apartment. Several dozen people have been linked to the remains, and the body parts are primarily women, which I found that part to be very odd.
Also, a question, why were they parts?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
That part was not explained.
What happened to the rest of them?
So, body brokers sell body parts parted out. So, like, when we covered the case previously, they talked about, like, you buy individual pieces of bodies for a lot of experimenting and stuff.
Oh, so they're not wholesaling. We're gonna give them the Mitch. Well, so the body parts that were discovered included knees, shoulders, arms, legs, and pieces of the skull. There weren't many intact skulls.
I dead
Now,
thought you were going to
aside from-
say head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
In that order.
Yes.
Missed that, but no, you're right. I'll fix that in post-production.
Please.
Now, aside from being wrapped in gauze, the body parts were mainly just scattered about with no type. There weren't any bags or boxes. They were just shucked into the woods. During the whole investigation, it was revealed that Mitch had been renting out freezer space in Washington, where he was storing the body parts of about 12 people. The donors' parts were taken by Mitchell to Arizona when he left Washington in February, and it seems like he left because his business at the same time also closed. So he went on a road trip with 12 different people's body parts in a U-Haul.
Yeah, it's not his fault nobody wanted to buy kneecaps.
I know dudes that would pay so much money for kneecaps.
I know people. He just couldn't get. Yeah, he just left them in a U-Haul for 12 months. I was like, I'll just figure that out later. But he did, because eventually he admittedly
Fucked up episode of Storage Wars.
Oh, God.
you
God.
pull up the thing and just a bunch of heads fall down. How much you think they're worth? I don't know.
Go back immediately.
I mean, but he
They've
had
been
a
in the
plan
market
for
for
him.
a new kneecap, so
I gotta get ready for Hot Girl Summer.
Yeah.
Get some new kneecaps. So in total, Mitch admittedly dumped 53 body parts in 2 separate locations in Arizona parks. Mitch claimed he dumped the body parts for his own social and political agenda. Political, right? I'm saying that right? Let's fuck up saying that word.
Co-parter.
No,
Yeah, I don't know why I was self-conscious about that. But he had his own agenda. He said that he wanted to bring attention to the lack of regulation in the body donation industry.
Oh, okay. No, now I understand.
And that's why I was like, okay, I see you had a plan in mind, but like I guess you thought they're more regulated than we thought because you're going to jail now. So that in September he was convicted. This past September he was convicted, and guess how long he is going to be sitting in prison for?
3
We'll
weeks.
go round robin with it. No, not 3 weeks. Longer than 3 weeks.
I think they gave him 10. They gave him a dime at least.
I think
Okay.
maybe 4 or 5 years?
Okay.
2 years?
So
People
for the
are weird about bodies, dude.
yeah. So for the 24 counts, he got 6 years in total. Yeah.
How about
They're
that?
trying to get him for 18
Price
months.
is right, I went over.
Yeah, no, it's a little over. But yes, 6 years in total. He'll be sitting in prison for checking those bodies. And he did come out in a statement saying that he is deeply sorry to the families. And it's like, okay, well,
It really makes me feel like
thanks, Mitch.
remove the tag.
But now we gotta scoop up all these arms and legs. It's like you gotta pay like you gotta doctor the bodies together to cremate them. Like, you can't even just mass cremate them. But I mean,
It really makes me feel like if he had just removed the tags,
he would have been
scot
fine.
free.
This
He'd
would
be
have
gone.
been a new mystery.
I don't know. I mean, if they DNA test and know where those like bodies came from and what happened to the rest of them, well,
I'm
it's taking a
surprised they
little
don't- I
longer.
I mean, they're just
but-
gonna sit in the DNA bank for what 20 years before that gets tested.
I'm
Imagine
willing.
he gets pulled over at a gas station and some cop is like, "Hey, bro, why you got a bunch of titties in your backseat?"
Well, he doesn't want to
God.
throw those out. That's worth keeping. Yeah.
He has a sack in his room.
You know, so he says the whole point of this is to bring attention to the industry and the misuse of bodies, but I'm willing to bet he didn't change anything. I'm willing to bet it's the exact same.
No.
Hey, I mean, we're talking about
Let me demonstrate the misuse of bodies by misusing all
Misusing-
of these bodies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like a very reactionary defense.
Like, hey kids, I'm gonna show you why crack is whack by getting high as fuck in front of you.
No, he was trying to do his own version of the movie Fresh.
Oh,
Well, originally, I kind of thought when you were like, oh, you know, these body parts and stuff, I was like, oh man, he's gonna have a Frankenstein in his basement. Like
Oh,
he assembled it all
yeah,
himself.
yeah.
But
Frankenstein's
Back in the-
monster with like 6 arms.
Uh-huh.
she has like a knee for a head.
all I have was knees.
Introducing my wife.
All right, so this is a really fun crime. I was at work, and I finally found like the headline that I really liked, and it actually led me down kind of a deep rabbit hole that I didn't expect. So I'm excited to hear your guys' thoughts on this. A lot less gruesome than yours, Andre, but
We love a rabbit hole.
we love a rabbit hole. Call me Alice because I'm
You
going.
want to see a rabbit hole?
I've actually never seen Alice in Wonderland. Did that reference fly?
Not that kind of hole, Andre. Jesus.
All right. Sunday, March 28th, 2021, a man who remains anonymous flew from Georgetown, Guyana to JFK International Airport. And if that sounds familiar to anybody at all, Guyana is the same country where Jim Jones took the People's Temple in 1977 and built Jonestown, which later resulted in the mass murder of over 900 people. You know, like drink the Kool-Aid. Technically it was Flavor Aid. We all know. And so our story's origin is only like 200 miles to the southeast in a place called Georgetown. So this guy flies from Georgetown to New York, and when he gets there, Customs and Border Patrol stops his luggage after he arrives for a second inspection because they get a call from the Guyana airport telling them that maybe they missed something. And Border Patrol found 30 finches being transported in hair rollers in this man's luggage. The birds were...
They were dead?
No. Oh no. Almost 30 live birds were quarantined and sent to the U.S. Department of Agriculture and Veterinary Services because the threat of birds being smuggled into the U.S. from another country lies in the spread of avian flu or bird flu.
We all been there.
Yeah, we've all been there. So this guy gets detained and Border Patrol finds almost 30 birds in his luggage. And really quick, I want to go over what is normal for Border Patrol to seize, if you're wondering if this has happened before. So, a representative from CBP said, quote, during a regular day in 2020, they seized 3,091 prohibited plant, meat, animal byproducts, and soil, and intercepted 250 insect pests at U.S. ports of entry nationwide. For what it's worth, I don't know if this is to say during any given day this is Border Patrol's regular numbers, or if that's just an example they have of like,
A weird
look,
time
one
period.
time. Yeah, exactly. As this story goes on, I have another fun fact with some more numbers, but I gotta let it cook for a minute. So, when reached out to for comment on why the birds were smuggled, Border Patrol could not say why the birds were being brought into the country, but previous news reports indicate finches have been smuggled and sold for bird singing competitions. I found out, oh yeah. So, I found out there was an interesting precedent for this particular case. In 2018, another man, also from Georgetown, Guyana, was detained at the same airport at JFK, so 3 years before this case, for smuggling more than twice as many finches finches into the U.S. Different guy. He smuggled 70 finches to the U.S., which is crazy. And so I started to have this thought of like, okay, I've got two guys from the same town, 3 years apart, smuggling various amounts of birds. And that's kind of where both of these articles ended. And I started to like dive deeper and like, what the fuck is going on? Why are people importing birds from South America? And so I found this New York Times article with some really interesting information about illegal finch smuggling. They have mentions of 4 different cases since 2018 of this exact nature. And there's too much info to share here, but I've got the best bits summarized. And we'll kind of get into the sinister underbelly of finch smuggling. So, finch singing competitions, known as bird races, are commonly held in local parks in Brooklyn and Queens, where Guyanese people, I hope that's how you say, like, people from Guyana.
Yeah, sounds right.
They have dedicated communities in Brooklyn and Queens, and in public parks, they have quote-unquote bird races. And they are not actually racing. It's when you put 2 specifically male chestnut-bellied seed finches in a cage together, and they are judged on how fast and how long they sing when held beside each other in cages, stimulating their instinct to establish dominance. In a race, the winning bird will be the first to chirp 50 times. Now here's where it gets interesting. Finches can be worth $3,000 to $5,000 a bird if they become champions.
Shit.
So in 2019, a man convicted of smuggling 26 finches from Guyana. His name was Francis Gurahu. Hopefully I pronounced that right. He expected to earn almost $100,000 from the sale of his birds. And as of the publishing of this article, which was June 2019, agents of the Border Patrol have discovered 326 songbirds being smuggled through 16 major airports across the nation. And in 2018, agents confiscated 2,117 birds being illegally smuggled to New York, which is fucking crazy.
New York is fucking weird.
I'm always like,
really
DraftKings is stupid. Why are you betting on sports? But there's motherfuckers in New York who are literally betting on how quickly a bird can, like...
On a fucking finch?
Yeah.
100%.
How long would they even live for?
That's a... How?
Bet on a bird.
Okay,
It's
so,
like
Oh, no, they get
diet
old.
cockfighting.
yeah. So, like...
Micro penis cockfight.
A really basic Google search shows me about 15 to 20 years is the average life expectancy of a finch, which is pretty good. Not bad.
So you can't just like farm some finches in the U.S. Like you can't just like start their own little breeding thing.
I guess. I'm not positive if, like, I think it's these
Feral
specific
finches,
finches.
they're faster.
Yeah,
You
some
need
bunch
it.
of feral finches.
Everybody knows if they're not from the street that, like, those
Well, you gotta
finches,
get them.
they don't
You
have
gotta
it
get
in
them direct from Guyana. Yeah, it's gotta be from the homeland. Yeah, that's where they show up best.
Oh.
What is a world record pace for like finch racing? Like, how quickly do they chirp 50 times?
That's a really good question.
It has to be slow
Well, yeah,
enough for
because like
people
I'm
to count.
imagining a dude with one of those like silver clicker counters and just like
Yes.
rapidly pressing it as fast as he can. You know?
Oh, TJ, I think that's literally how they do it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
so like,
sure.
like how many chirps? 50
Oh, wait,
in like 20
finch racing
seconds. I don't
world
know.
record.
Yeah, go ahead and find out some records for this. Yeah, finch bird racing to see like what any sort of record is, because I traced back the origins of this, and we'll start to hit that. So, a Queens local.
Can I make
Yeah.
a prediction? It's European wealthy white people again.
I can see it.
You know, it's pretty safe
Robert?
bet.
I think you will find that your answer is not correct necessarily, but they are involved. So, Queens local Ray Harinarian, his name's Ray, says this is like a sport from back home. People bring their traditions from Guyana to New York. Champion birds bestow status on their owners and can increase the value of the finch like a racehorse. So these are like literally prized birds that people like keep in their homes. It's not just like a toy to them. And on finch races, people will bet something as small as like breakfast or a beer to as large as like thousands of dollars on a single race. If you're really confident
That's
in
a
your
wide
bird.
margin.
So an article I found
I give
about
you
the
half
local-
a warm Bud Light or my house.
Exactly. These people are like gung-ho about it. So, an article I found on local Guyanese bird racing shed some light on the tradition. In Guyana, the birds are well taken care of and respected for their ability to earn status and wealth for their owners. This tradition is believed to have been brought to South America by indentured servants in the early 19th century and has been a way of diffusing cultural differences among men from Africa, India, Brazil, and Venezuelan backgrounds. A Georgetown native told reporters from Reuters, quote, "All backgrounds and religions come together all because of this one bird. There are people I know who have been raising finches since they were children specifically for this." And the reason that, the whole reason we're talking about this, right, is because one guy smuggled 30 birds into New York 2 years ago. And this is why it's a crime at all. So the conditions these birds are smuggled in are typically, unsurprisingly, very bad for the birds. No climate control or access to food and water. These conditions subject the animals to a higher likelihood of shedding and passing along any virus or disease they may have. It stresses them the fuck out. And in 2015, the US experienced a highly pathogenic strain of bird flu that caused an estimated $1 billion in damages, as well as the deaths of over 50 million chickens and turkeys to prevent the spread of the flu. And at the time, that was 12% of the nation's egg-laying population and 8% of turkeys being raised for meat. More recently, a highly contagious strain of bird flu, HN58, was being transmitted throughout Russia. This strain is absolutely lethal for birds and had previously not been transmittable through humans until 21, the year of this particular crime. So it seems like the main issue with this case is just that these birds are being brought to the US for gambling purposes, and their transport conditions, in turn, create a high probability of putting other animals and a multi-billion-dollar industry at risk, which is why these things are seized and taken, obviously. And some of you might know, or maybe you don't know, that as of right now, the US is currently seeing the largest case of bird flu ever recorded. As of right now, surpassing the numbers from 2015, which is why you may have noticed, eggs and chicken are more expensive than ever. So it just goes to show that even though smuggling tiny birds and hair rollers to gamble on bird singing competitions sounds silly, it can apparently jeopardize the economy. And so that comes...
By knows of bird chirp records.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So, I found the initial number, then I found a dude who broke the world record, but turns out he was cheating.
No.
So I'll hit you with the actual
He was
numbers
cheating
first.
on behalf of the bird.
What the hell?
Yeah,
Your coach
but by a
ruining
big
it.
margin too. It's wild. So the average finch will do 50 chirps within 2 minutes. That's the average number of a male finch. Now this one dude, his name is this happened in Vikensport, Thailand. One finch sang a record of 1,278 chirps in 1 hour.
Dude.
The owner was later accused of dropping the bird with testosterone.
You're doping the birds?
Holy shit.
But it turns out he was using a mini CD player under a box that the bird was sitting on top of.
I can't fucking believe that.
But imagine your little finch that you had since you were a kid. He can get out 50 good ones, 50 good chirps, and this dude comes up with his finch singing 1,000-something chirps.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
We've been anti-doping.
That finch has.
There's a New York Times article about it, and the top cover is a giant picture of these two dudes just intently staring at these bird cages.
It's the Lance Armstrong of birds.
Oh my god.
Do we have an anti-doping administration for this?
for the finches.
Whole bird racing.
Yeah,
Right.
what we really need is
Streams.
regulation.
So they're bringing gambling back to Twitch. All the gambling addicts on Twitch get to bet on birds, and we get to save a bunch of chickens and maybe get eggs priced down again. Yeah. Birds tweeting? Come on.
Yeah.
Twitter will be the first sponsor. Elon Musk will love that shit.
So finch.
We also
Yeah.
sneak in that
Finch cake?
ASMR community. Let them listen to all the bird chirp.
Any thoughts on what this guy's punishment was? He's trying to smuggle 30 birds.
Oh yeah, wait a minute.
$5,000.
So you're talking about the original guy?
3
that
weeks in
smuggled-
I think
jail.
it's $5,000.
Okay, Kelly
How
says
many did
3
he
weeks.
smuggle?
30 birds.
30.
30.
30 birds. The year of 2021.
I'm gonna say he got 18 months probation.
I'm kind of wondering with the whole disease thing, because post-COVID, maybe people are harsher about that now. I'm gonna say a year.
Nah, I think you just got a fine. Bird seized, big fine. Fuck off.
Death penalty. He's going down.
Oh shit.
Oh, no way.
No, I'm joking. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
No, he paid a fine of $300 and then they sent him back to Guyana.
Oh wow, it's not
Yeah, so Robert
$10
nailed
a
it.
bird.
I was thinking deportation or something.
Hey,
Yeah, they sent him back.
risking $300 to potentially get like 30 grand
Yeah.
is great.
Is this really a dumb crime or is it a genius crime?
It's a side hustle, yeah.
So, like, it's one of those questions you have to ask yourself. Yeah, because, like, okay, remember in 2019, agents confiscated 2,000 birds. That's only the ones they caught. Like, someone out there is getting
Shit.
these birds to New York and making cash. So, just
Max
next
like
time.
the movie Blow, but is what.
What do they do with the birds when they confiscate them? Put them down.
They give them to the agriculture department.
shake 'em.
Maybe they do get to race.
See, what they really need to do is have somebody work in there that can quarantine them for 30 days and then smuggle them back into the population.
I'm imagining.
That's what the 30 days is for. Yeah.
I mean,
The feds are getting involved.
if the government just regulated the bird industry, they could,
Right.
That could be a new resource.
Honestly, at the end
That
of
could
the
be a
day,
new resource.
But yeah, I guess just all these things to keep in mind. You know, the next time you think about committing some stupid crime like this, you know, Mike Tyson.
Order
The
first.
next Mike Tyson could be born beating the dog shit out of you for doing something bird-brained.
for smuggling some finches.
So, after being wanted by police for 7 years,
Unknowingly?
a South African man named Nkobo unwillingly gave himself up to police this last year by walking right into a police station.
Love that for him.
Yeah, in 2015, in 2015, he had stolen what amounted to like $1,200 worth of equipment that he was like supposed to deliver in the course of his job to clients. And oddly enough, despite being a wanted criminal, he applied for a job at his local police station. He was arrested on August 15th of last year when he went in person to the station to check the status of his application.
Y'all ain't called me back yet, and I'm getting real annoyed.
Which my favorite part of the story was, it says here, the Lieutenant General Samakalang Daphne Manamela did
Not
say,
Daphne. Her.
she's wearing a little purple headband. We are working tirelessly day and night, sticking to our mandate of creating a safe environment for all citizens. We cannot achieve that stage while suspects are still roaming the streets and terrorizing communities. She then added, it's just a matter of time before we bring them to justice.
For $1,200?
Well,
Well done.
But
You're
also,
so
like-
impressive.
we're gonna bring them to justice. He fucking walked in himself. Like,
He did 90%
you're
of your job
working
for you.
tirelessly.
If I was this guy, I'd be like, you know what? I heard this case about a guy who stole like $1,200 worth of
That's
shit.
what I think his
I'm gonna get to
plan
the
was.
bottom of this. We're all
Genuinely.
looking for the guy who did this.
Yeah, it's so weird. He looks just like me, which is, I want to clear my name. Or my
Exactly.
face, I guess.
He's like, I gotta have a clean record. I just want to go straight. I'm gonna get a job, wipe the evidence.
He's got like the end of his career, 65 years old. He's retiring tomorrow, and he's just staring at this one manila envelope on his desk, thinking to himself, it's the one case I could never solve.
But like, 7 years? And you just
You
walk
probably
right
must have
in?
forgot about
Just
yeah,
walked
probably forgot
right
about it.
in. Do you know what specifically he stole?
It was like computer, or like hardware, like computer hardware.
I mean, that'll rack up easily.
Yeah,
though.
that's like, I mean, if you steal the right stuff, that's like 24 items.
He stole a bunch of TI calculator.
Yeah.
He was gonna grift some
There's
high
just-
schools.
Some kids aren't going to learn how to graph, I guess.
You'll never learn scientific notation. You'll never be a man.
You're never gonna have a calculator in your pocket. So.
Tangent who? Yeah, I know. What kind of a weird future would that be like?
Do you have your calculator in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
I mean, so did he get? So he's
Yeah.
how long is he in jail for now?
I don't know if they're to
Penalty.
that
Death penalty.
point yet. It did not say.
Well, here's hoping
Yeah.
that he gets a fair trial
Yeah.
at least.
The 7 years he
I mean, if anything,
ran away
he-
from the law.
Yeah,
3 weeks. No, he got 3 weeks. No, I'm kidding.
I'm gonna say shit.
Do we give people mulligans legally? Like, if the jury
that's
heard about
mulligan.
this, be like, yeah, he clearly fucked up. Like, give him this one.
Yeah, this is an L.
Yeah, it's a warning. They're called warnings.
It's called being a white man in America.
That's a mulligan.
You're like cats. You get 9 lives. As I said, I kind of misunderstood So originally had something
Do
way
that all the time.
way serious, and then was like, oh, okay. So I came up with Santa robberies. So yeah,
That's
there's
kind of fun.
much more fun. So let's see. So there's one in 2009, right? And this is kind of like, okay, this has happened before. When Father Christmas strolled into the bank holding a sack, customers thought they might be in for a few surprises, right? Yeah. But this sinister Santa felt it was better to receive than give.
Yeah.
Whipping out a gun and demanding cash.
Downloaded
Whipping
the
out a
wrong
gun or
Santa.
Oh
whipping out a
god.
gun?
Yeah, like whoever wrote this article was like, all right, I got this one, guys. But yeah, like this dude strolled in, and then they say like it's unbelievable. He was actually jovial, which is scary. He explained that he was robbing the bank because Santa has to pay his elves this year.
Ho, ho,
Ho
motherfucker.
ho ho! Get on
I'm
the
about to
ground.
say, I kind of love him.
Like some kind of twisted like Santa Robin Hood.
If we had just allowed the elves to unionize, this never would have happened.
I mean, he's a good boss. He didn't have the money, so he had to get it somewhere else. But the thing about this
But a
one,
terrible husband.
so the thing about this one though is that like they have some CCTV pictures of him, and it's like
Cool
the
Santa
full Santa
with
getup,
a gun.
right? Like, beard strapped to the face, like big puffy white like arms. I don't know, cuffs and stuff. Yeah, he's got the big belt, the fake belly. And he also put on sunglasses to block his face, right? So it's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like you're robbing a bank, disguise yourself. All right, Santa. Yeah. So, anyways,
But not just that. Go full in on the bit.
yeah,
That's how he appeals to the kids.
He took an improv class.
right, and definitely like in the beginning, it's like, oh well, they thought they were gonna get gifts. Like, yeah, people are gonna be really confused when you walk in, but they're not gonna be thinking you're about to rob this place, right? So that led me to this other Santa Claus in 2014. So apparently in San Francisco, there is a Santa Con, right? So hundreds of people dress up. They go to Union
San
Square
Francisco.
and like, you know, God, where's the quote? There was one that was like, "It's no longer a festive event; it's hedonistic debauchery." It's like, okay,
Oh.
I am interested now. And apparently, it's like so big
Where
that
do
it's
I
like,
sign up?
yeah, it's like spread over the world and stuff now. So
I bet it's spread.
yeah, it's a fun time. Dress up like Santa, get drunk.
Oh.
So one guy gets the bright idea to, I guess, copycat this bank robbery, except he did it in the dumbest way possible. His Santa outfit, I'll send the link to you guys just so you can check out.
Yeah, pop that in the chat.
Yeah. But for the people that can't see it, like this guy walked into like a store Santa costume. Like
Wow.
the chin, like the beard is like strapped to his chin. Like you can clearly see his whole face. Right? And then there's like a point where he's like kind of smiling a bit and like holding a wad of cash, like still standing
Yeah,
in
if
front
you
of
get caught in the rain,
teller. Like, you got your money, get the hell out of there.
It looked
Dude, the
like the
background just-
hospital paper gown version of
Yes.
like a Santa costume.
Oh yeah, it'll look like it'll tear pretty
It's a
easily.
good thing they didn't get camera of him from the back.
Like any swift move.
So this dude's bright idea was just like, oh, well, it worked for somebody else. I'm going to do it. And then barely committed, right? Didn't cover his face, nothing. Walks in, hands them a letter, jokes with the teller, whatever, and walks back out. FBI never found him. Like, they have pictures
Whoa.
of this dude's full face. Like, if that was
He's still
Robbie or Robert, I'd be like, I know who that is. Never found the guy.
Guys, the cops are working tirelessly to keep us safe and to keep Santas from terrorizing the community.
Police station, and he never walked in. Trying so
I
hard.
worked a double today.
You win some, you lose some.
That's
I just
absolutely
love
right.
The idea that this dude so
Oh,
casually
shit.
walked in, pocketed the cash, and then was like, all right, next pub, let's go. Like,
Well, hey, it worked out for him.
Well, that's like a scene. That's a scene you see in movies all the time of like, oh, we coordinate a bunch of people to all wear the same thing, and I walk out and then just disappear into the crowd. But he didn't even need to pay extra people.
No.
He got to keep everything. Just do it on the day everyone wears
Right,
the
so
same
He didn't
shitty
do
costume.
that one montage.
that's the thing is like, it's dumb the way he executed it, but like in the grand scheme of things, I guess it's so dumb it just might work.
I would have so much anxiety every day. Like every knock on my door, I'm like, oh, it's time. They finally got me.
Like
I know it's
the
been.
kid in class that's just waiting because they're like, oh, I did something, the principal's gonna find out. Yeah, I just asked for money. They're the ones that assume.
They're about to be my friend. And she told me how she got robbed, and I accidentally laughed at her because it was just really absurd. But she was like, yeah, I was walking down the street, and this like guy walked up to me and said, yo, bitch, give me your phone. And I was like, for real? And she was like, yeah, he just said, give me your phone. And I was like, well, what'd you do? She was like, I gave him my phone. And he walked away. I was like, because I get it, because you probably were just so shocked, like, what the fuck is about to happen? Because, hey, bitch, give me your phone.
I like to think he was just walking around the corner to make a call privately. He was going to give it back.
Yeah, she comes back, like, where'd she go? Hey, why
Thanks
are you
for the
crying?
phone, bitch. I am a really cowardly person. If someone walked up to me, like no weapon drawn at all, and said, just give me your phone, bitch, I would probably just do it.
Hey, Robbie.
Because you're probably just throwing up.
Do you have an address?
Go ahead, Robert. Send us home.
You ready? This is a little inspiring. The person who committed this crime, I won't say that it's not a crime, but I will say that I think there's going to be songs written about this woman.
A real Rosa Parks.
Perhaps a Freddy Versus song?
The Rosa Parks of our generation.
So, October 12th, 2022. So this is still ongoing. This person has been arrested, but they have not been convicted yet. So all of this is alleged at this moment, but you'll see that pretty clear cut. So on October 12th, there was going to be an eviction taking place on this 70-year-old retiree, Alton King Jr. So Alton King, he had lived in his home for decades. And Junior!
Oh, shout out Martin Luther King, by the way. It's his day right now.
Yeah.
Is it?
So
That's why I feel so
2006
powerful.
King, yeah, it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So 2006 King, he has some work done on his home, and he refinances his mortgage to help pay for it. A mortgage that he was paying, no problem whatsoever. But because of the predatory lender amortization schedule, his payments went from $3,200 to $13,400. So this isn't a case of, this person just unfortunately they weren't paying a reasonable rate. Yeah, no, he was expected to be paying $13,400 a mortgage payment. So a lot of people came out in protest when the police showed up to evict Alton King Jr. from his property. There is an organization called the Massachusetts Alliance Against Predatory Lending. They're an organization partners with the NAACP because obviously these are targeting a specific group of people in Massachusetts, these predatory lenders. These two organizations come together to, help the legal battles of people getting to keep their homes that they can afford to pay reasonable mortgages on, but because of racist lending practices, they're driven up to prices like $13,000 a month and crazy shit like that. So protesters outside of Alton King Jr.'s house, police show up, they're about to start dispersing people and evict Alton King, and then a truck rolls up, and this lady pops out of her truck. She goes back to a trailer that she brought with her to these wooden boxes, and she starts just shaking these wooden boxes, and she's wearing a beekeeper's outfit. She unleashes her hives of bees at the police in response to this
Fly, my minions.
unethical eviction. And
Fly, my pretties, fly!
there's no world where you don't get caught. You showed up in a very identifiable outfit in your truck. And so she was arrested on the scene. She didn't fight back while she was arrested. Other than just releasing the bees, she did not fight the officers at all. While she was being arrested and handcuffed, one of the officers said, "Did you know some of our officers are allergic?" And she said, "Oh, you're allergic? Good." And if that's not the hardest shit, like,
she's like a Batman villain.
she said, I hope you're
God, crossover
allergic."
episode of The Pigeon and the Beekeeper.
Yeah. Man. One officer was sent to the hospital but was later released, so there was no long-term hospitalizations. There were officers stung, and she was charged. This woman was charged with 4 counts of assault and battery by means of a dangerous weapon, in parentheses, bees, and 3 accounts of assault by means of a dangerous weapon, also bees. So she has not been granted bail, and she's currently being held. And because this happened in October, there hasn't been a trial yet. So, did she commit this crime? Yes, clearly. I don't think she is going to say she didn't commit it. But whether or not she'll get a maximum sentence or anything like that will be, I think, a matter of publicity.
Like, I have never done a cool thing in my life compared to this.
So the woman, her last name is Woods, she kind of had something similar happen to her in her past that happened with Alton King's mortgage. So now she goes around the country and she helps people protest and, like, keep their homes, essentially. And I don't know what it was about this one. She just snapped and she sacrificed the hives. Yeah,
she probably been training them motherfuckers for years. They were ready. Like, this was their day.
We went to a music festival in Chicago in September with Robert, and we were in line to get food, and this motherfucker kept catching bees, smashing them between his hands and grinding them into dust.
People were staring.
And, like, visibly frightening the people behind us.
I was vibing. I was vibing to the music.
Smushing bees.
There was not a call from stage. The lead singer was not like, all right, motherfuckers, we're gonna kill some bees.
It wasn't that he was doing something wrong. It was just the fervor with which he was doing it.
It was deranged.
He was, like, in that moment, he was built for that.
Imagine.
Hey,
you have
goblin
heat
mode
exhaustion.
is a word for the year of 2022. And I was going goblin mode on those bees.
That's right.
He went full Topher. But hey, that was the season finale. We talked about everything from dismembered corpses to bee attacks.
And everything in between.
Everything in between. And joined by our lovely friends, FreddyVs. Well, tell them where they can find you and stuff. Plug yourself.
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at FreddyVs Band. And it's just Freddy VS. You don't have to spell a word out. It's like the movie. It's the concept. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, anywhere you can get music. Amazon Music, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I know anyone who uses that, but one of you are out there. God bless you, I guess. We're soon to have a Twitter. TikTok. Follow us on TikTok. We have all sorts of stupid, funny content there. And we got a lot of exciting things coming up this year. Just follow us on Instagram. You'll get all the news. And just listen to our album. We've got something for everyone. We've got thrash metal. We've got pop punk. We got like 50s inspired prom music. We've got a little something for everybody. Grandparents, children. We cover all the bases.
Watch out for illicit content, though.
Mm-hmm. And again, thank you for having us on the show. It means so much.
Yeah.
I've been friends with Robert for years, and I've been listening to the show for a couple of years, and so it's fun to see these worlds collide and be involved.
The wedding was lit. I was so drunk.
Very good.
I got a lot of really fun videos.
And that's the show. Enjoy the music. Follow us on all the social medias. It's Topher. You know what it is. We'll see you in a couple weeks or so. Later, skaters.
Something
Kisses from the home. Yeah, something like that. Kisses from the homies.
Mwah.
You get what one, Robert?
Ooh.
Goblin mode.
We now have breaking news.
Progressive is America's #1 motorcycle insurer, so we understand motorcycles. No, really, we have a bike translator.
Okay, this is awkward, but this bike says he'd appreciate it if you removed his skull pattern saddlebags. He feels self-conscious about them around all the other bikes, and he says you're not fooling anyone. You mostly ride with your golfing buddies. Listen, I'm just the messenger here. Oh, no, I don't want to say that. I think you made yourself clear.
Quote with Progressive and see if you could save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I've been quiet for a while now. When it don't fall, seem like ain't nobody around. They say I'm changing. I take this shit serious, ain't no playing. Ear closed, them they can't even hear that shit they say, yeah. Said I'm useful, no love. We all got addictions, mine, bitches, money, and more drugs. Can somebody help us? Did one for my step up. Reality, I swear to God. You know them days, dog, when you hear them dogs. I'm tryna tell y'all. Showing love hard when you ain't got no heart. Ain't got no heart inside, your ego had to swallow pride. If you heard how they talk when you ain't around, I swear you'll be surprised. It's hard for me to tell the real or lie, I see it in your eyes. You say I change, I'm still the same, but I heard that shit a million times. Household broken, I'm just tryna stay focused. Give a damn who is who, I can't let that stop my motion. Hard to tell who the hoes is, these niggas acting more bitch. I go rolling on both wrists and hold it up like trophy. Goddamn dog, I been tryna spare y'all. If you go get 12 involved, then we gon' get these shells involved. Ain't hiding shit from no man, shit my dog see me failing off. So I ain't going for nothing, that's just what I'm tryna tell y'all. I've been quiet for a while now. When it all falls, seem like ain't nobody around. They say I'm changing. I take this shit serious, ain't no play, yeah. Ear closed, them they can't even hear that shit they say, yeah. Said I'm useful, no love. We all got addictions, mine, bitches, money, and more drugs. Can somebody help us? Did one for my step up. Reality, I swear to God. You know them days, dog, when you hear them dogs bark. I'm tryna tell y'all. Showing love hard when you ain't got no heart. They only show you love when they see you shining. I get tired of niggas around me, act like they don't see me grinding. I been trying to clear my head cause I got bad shit on my mind. And I been contemplating on smoking again cause I'ma do something violent if I don't. Cut them off cause they not on the time I'm on. I can't talk to nobody, I put my pain in these songs. Steady going through the motions, feel peace when I'm by the ocean. I just drown it out in that water, no I don't feel my emotions no more. I've been quiet for a while now. When it all falls, seem like ain't nobody around. They say I'm changing. I take this shit serious, ain't no play, yeah. Ear closed, them they can't even hear that shit they say, yeah. Said I'm useful, no love. We all got addictions, mine, bitches, money, and more drugs. Can somebody help us? Did one for my step up. Reality, I swear to God. You know them days, dog, when you hear them dogs bark. I'm tryna tell y'all. Showing love hard when you ain't got no heart. Shit on nice, I swear my heart is broken. This shit on nice, I swear my heart is broken. Be happy.